We don't know the hour or the day. Time is such a gift, try and control your destiny. We don't know the hour or the day. Unity is strength, let's stand as one without delay. Cause no bad vibe me a John. Me no want no bad vibe me a time. I just peace the times all around, yeah. No bad vibe me a time. No bad vibe me a chant. Say me no want no bad vibe me a chant. I just peace good time all around, yeah. No bad vibe me a chant.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Death Taught Us How to Live. We're still in season 5 and it is September, and we are still talking about how people transform their lives from being a survivor to a thriver, or how they saw death right in the face and they say, you know what, time is moving forward, so should I. So today is no different. So I want to read you something from an insert from a book, and I actually have the author of the actual book today. So let's read something real quick, give a brief introduction to this particular person, then bring them on to the show. So this is the type of show that we're going to be having today. This is from the book, chapter 1. It says, the day my life split into two, an 18-year-old high school senior recounts surviving a devastating car accident in March 2008 that left him with a traumatic brain injury and in a coma for weeks. Initially unresponsive and with doctors uncertain about his recovery, his family refused to give up hope, staying by his side, encouraging him and anchoring him through his lifeless state. Slowly, he began to show small signs of life and gradually regain awareness, though not in a sudden, cinematic way, but through a fragmented memory and long rehab. So, without any further ado, I want to bring on this great particular person that we just read about. His name is Christopher Dittrich, and he is my friend all the way coming from, guess where? Thailand, from the other side of the globe. So let's bring Christopher onto the stage. Christopher, how you doing, sir?
Thank you for that lovely introduction. It's great to be here. Good morning, everybody from Bangkok, Thailand. Nice 7 a.m. in the on the eastern side of the world. Yes.
All right, Christopher, or can I call you Chris?
Chris, please. Yeah, we're good friends now. Yeah.
We're good friends. We're good friends. So, guys, like I said, if you're watching this on TikTok or if you're watching it on Facebook, if you want to put in comments, it's preferably to go onto YouTube, the AVM Superhero channel, and you can put your comments in there, and we'll answer them live. But Chris, I thank you so much for coming on this early this morning and being on our show. You've been on our show before, but I'm very intrigued by you because who you are is a very interesting person. And the reason why I say that is that you had a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, but you didn't decide to just keel over and just say, you know what, life is over. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do anything. You decided to get up and move. So before we go into all of that, can you talk a little bit more about that 2008 year and how you got through that particular accident?
Yes. So again, my injury was suffered on March 3rd, 2008 in a severe car accident. And I came to slowly as Greg mentioned at the beginning. I can remember just little bit. But from the beginning, my family was always there. My father, my mother, they were always there to keep me on the right path, to keep me with a positive mindset and showing me that, starting with just like trying to move my leg, my right side was the injured side, move my right leg a little bit in the bed and seeing how doing a little bit on one day would improve me for the next day. So the next day I would be better already. And, that from there, from those little movements in the bed, moving my hand around and moving my leg, just my toes and my ankle and my knee, just little by little, and every day building on it. And that helped to create the unstoppable mindset that I have now, that keep moving forward. No matter what we need, we can work to make it happen.
Okay, I really appreciate that, and I don't know if I could contribute this to you, but who you are and what you do in your life, I believe I can't. I don't know. Maybe it has. Maybe it has. I don't know. Maybe subconsciously it did. It motivated me to do a lot of things that I do today. Like I see you with a I can't stop attitude. I want to keep on living. I want to thrive. I want to box. I want to get married. I want to live life. You know, you said this happened to you in Florida. So right now you're in where?
Well, my injury actually happened when I was in high school, still in a little town, West Windsor, New Jersey. So I'm a far, 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 far away place now here in Thailand on the other side of the world, And yeah, exactly. Definitely the injury, having a unique perspective of where I was all the way, the low of the low, it makes everything that I'm accomplishing mean that much more. It's that much sweeter. It makes me want to keep challenging myself because every experience that I've encountered and then overcome, I'm like, okay, I can do it. I can do it. Let's do more. Let's get more. Let's keep going. I've been I've got the book out now that I finally finished after 17 years. But I've been writing the book in my head over the course of this time, moving from New Jersey to Miami, taking that first initial risk, going to college, and being painfully unprepared to be down there in the humidity and the heat of Miami as a freshman, living the normal college life on a full college schedule, living in the dorm rooms, getting from place to place just by walking and with very little assistance, that looking back at that now at how such a hard time that was, it helped me move to the next thing, which was studying abroad in Beijing, China. Again, thought I was prepared, was totally unprepared to follow some other students, some classmates around in Beijing, going up the Great Wall of China, going through the Forbidden City, the palace, everything of the sort. But getting through that helped me prepare for the next challenge, which was going to the Galapagos Islands on another study abroad trip, challenging myself further with unique landscape, some lots of sand and lots of rock formations that I had to walk through and spend lots of time walking, again in the heat of the summer, but accomplishing that and being ready to move on to the next thing, So it's been what started in 2008, laying in my hospital bed with just moving my toes or moving my knee, my hip around, and seeing how that helped me progress, has turned into life events and adventures that I am very fair to say that I struggled in all of my life adventures, but I came out on top with everything. Then it goes to Hong Kong, working in Hong Kong again, struggling, but ending up making the best of the trip, making the best of the 3 months I spent there working and living, and each challenge that I encounter, but then overcome it. It's that story I've been writing in my head. I'm living life, and it's something I may not have done had I not suffered my injury. Let's say that.
See, now you just brought something very interesting to me because
Yeah.
I was going to lead into that, but you took me there already.
All right. Oh, good. Perfect.
A lot of people are afraid to take risks, afraid to move to the other side of town. You went to the other side of the world, and you just said something very interesting. He's like, if this didn't happen to you, you probably wouldn't be, and I'm paraphrasing it, you probably wouldn't be brave enough to actually do this. What do you say to people that do have that trepidation inside them and say, hey, life is, I got to be prepared for anything that life happens to me. I got to be there for my children. I got to be there for my job, whatever. What do you say to people like that if they have dreams and goals and they want to aspire to actually get to them? What do you actually say to those people?
You have to you have to give yourself a chance. Be confident in yourself. That's a big thing for me is the confidence that I have in myself, to adventure, to push my limits. And if I'm somebody else, if I was having anytime I do have, of course, I have a little bit of trepidation. It's not, I mean, a lot of blind ambition for me where I just don't even think about it and I just go for it. But that's been built through previous successes, you know? So if you're somebody who is struggling through something, think back to how far you've come from where you were in your initial, if you suffered an injury similar to yours or to mine, laying in a hospital bed, not knowing what was coming next. And now to even have the aspirations to go out and see the world or go out and try new things, you know, that's a great step forward. And it's something you should build off of and use that momentum to push you to make it happen. Because once you do it, you're going to look back and you're going to think back, be like, wow, I can't believe, one, that it took me so long to finally make it happen, but then two, to be so proud of yourself. And that pride that you feel will continue to build your confidence so that you are then ready to accomplish the next thing, the next challenge, the next task that you are trying to, the next aspiration that you have.
Chris, you're saying all this, and I do understand where you're coming from, but I don't know if our audience do. Like, what was that aha moment that transformed you to say, you know what? I'm not going to be this victim. I'm going to live my life and I'm going to succeed whatever I do. If I fall, don't worry about it. I'm going to keep on getting up. What was that actual aha moment for you?
It was probably when I was in Beijing the first time, when I went with my classmates on a study abroad trip. This was 3.5 years after my injury. I spent the first 18 months after my injury living at home and then going off to feeling well enough. My family and we felt that I was well enough to go to college. That was one thing, of course, is a great aha moment. But the big one was when I was in Beijing the first time in, again, like I said, 2011. And I was led by pure blind ambition. Oh, I can do this. This is easy. This is nothing. And then when I was there with my classmates, and it was hard, I couldn't keep up with them at all. You know, I felt for the first time that I was like slowing the entire group down, and made me feel really humbled, really crappy. So I met with my professor and said, you know what? I took the lead. I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to come with you on the rest of this trip. I'm going to stay here by myself in Beijing, when the rest of the class was moving on to a couple other cities, Xi'an and Shanghai, and then finishing the trip in Shanghai. I said, you know what? I am better off staying here by myself. And those additional 2 weeks that I spent were a phenomenal 2 weeks, you know, that I got to explore at my own pace, which was much slower at that point, but I didn't have to follow anyone. You know, I kept the same teacher we had. I had her as my private tutor. She kept the lessons at my pace. At that time was a little bit slower still. And I made some really cool friends, met a girl when I was there. And that was really the aha moment, you know, like, I can do this. It might not be the same way that I would have done it in the past, flying through, being with the top of the class, being with everybody else, but at my own pace, I can make this happen no matter where I am in the world. And from there, I've just been building on that ever since.
You know what, Chris, you put something out there that, you know, I think a lot of people that do have that trepidation, they don't realize that, yes, the first time is going to be very hard. It's going to be extremely hard. There's a mental block. But once you get past that mental block, it becomes much easier. You know, the stares and things that people look at you funny or say things about you, you start caring about it less because you rather have a good time and enjoy life. Am I right with saying that?
Totally. You know, and again, it doesn't have to be as extreme as going around the world, as I have been fortunate to. You know, it can be, like you said, moving across town, moving to a different city, or just trying something new, going to a new place, a new restaurant or a new bar somewhere by yourself, meeting new people, everything of the sort. You know, that anything you're feeling, that trepidation, as you say, as a concern, that worry, it gets better every time you put yourself out there. You have confidence in yourself that you're going to make it work, and then you do. And from there, that you can look back and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I used to be afraid of going to this restaurant by myself and meeting new people. I mean, that's crazy. Now it's the easiest thing in the world for me. Yeah.
You're bringing up so much stuff and so many jewels, and I really want you to talk about this a little bit more because I think you did write most of this down in your book, and you're bringing up things that I want you to actually discuss. First of all, we didn't say the title of the book. The name of the book is "Keep Moving Forward." It's
Moving
a very
forward.
interesting book, and chapter 8 is something that I'm very intrigued at. I want you to break this down a little bit more because it seems like within this particular chapter, you're talking about every step on lava and people looking at you, doubting you, and maybe even you had a slight doubt within yourself, but all of a sudden you say, you know what, I'm going to be able to do this. So can you bring us into that chapter where it's talking about you walking through that lava field and how you actually accomplished that?
Yeah, so well, I was given an opportunity. Well, I saw the opportunity. I found the opportunity at my University of Miami that we were going to spend 2 weeks over the summer on a trip to the Galapagos Islands, to Ecuador, and then to the Galapagos Islands. And this was the year after I had spent the summer studying in Beijing, so I was ready to go. Let's say that, and the professor that I had not known beforehand, once he met me and found out that I wanted to go on the trip, he had major hesitations with me physically. Oh, Chris, we're going to go swim. We're going to be snorkeling. We're going to be walking around a lot. I just don't know if you can handle it. And I took that. He meant it out of total like worry and like empathy, concern, and I took that as a complete challenge. And I was very unhappy with him for even doubting me in the first place. But thankfully, he ended up letting me come on the trip. And what I write about is my own Trail of Tears moment, where I bring up that we were on this long walk, and right overlooking the over long walk. I had fashioned a walking stick out of a big tree that I found, and it was hot, it was sweaty, it was uh, long time. But then at the end of it, we made it to around the corner, and we were overlooking the beautiful Pacific Ocean, and it was fantastic. And I sat next to the professor, and the professor came up to me, the one that was been the gatekeeper from the beginning, and he said, "You know what, Chris? I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy that you're with us on this trip. You deserve every bit of this." And it was a fantastic feeling. And again, just helped, and that was in 2012, only 4 years after my injury. Helped to continue to build life, to build that feeling of life, of happiness and excitement in me that I would not have had. I wouldn't have felt even if I had been on that trip, not suffered in my injury. It would have just been a normal vacation. But instead, I overcame so much to get to this point, and it was just perfect. It was, yeah, really, really nice.
That Chris, I'm listening to you and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Because a lot of times, I hadn't had a TBI, but I had a stroke. And,
Mhm.
I doubt myself. And then, all of a sudden I just transform into a person like, you know what? I don't care if I fail, I fail, but I want to do it. I want to find out if I can or not.
Exactly.
And
Yeah. It's a big thing.
and I think that, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, no, like you said, it's a big thing. Challenging ourselves. I want to know if I can do this. Exactly as you put it is a perfect way of saying it. Yeah.
So you said something interesting. You was upset with your professor because he had doubt in you. Do you get mad at people now because of because a lot of people are concerned about your welfare and they worry about you being hurt or anything like that, so they're so cautious about you. Do
Yeah.
you have more sympathy for them now, or you try to educate them more? How do you handle things like
Yeah.
that?
Right. I thankfully now it's been enough years, and I'm doing far better than I was doing. It's been what, 17 years That was 13 years ago. So thankfully I have 13 years of physical therapy and recovery in, so I'm doing better physically now. But I don't, like, if people are sympathetic to me, of course, here in Thailand especially, but I do try and educate them. I don't want your sympathy. I want you to feel like proud. I want you to feel proud of me, motivated by me, and excited for how far that I've been able to come despite whatever injury, whatever difficulty you see me having. And I write about it. I say that I'm hoping that people, in my optimistic head, I'm hoping people see me accomplishing things on a daily basis, even like grocery shopping by myself with a little bit of a limp. I want them to see me and say, hey, if he can do this, I can do it too. I can overcome my challenges because I see him, me, Chris, brain injured Chris. I see him doing so much. I can do something too. I can make it happen also.
No, I get it, and you have done
My
that.
mom is joined to say "Go Birds." She got me this.
Oh!
I wore this shirt. She got me this awesome, beautiful Super Bowl winning, reigning world champion shirt. So
yeah, I'm gonna let you have that tonight, sir. I'm gonna let you have that tonight. But it's opening night. I'm gonna let you have that. But what you just said before the Eagles stuff, you did inspire myself because I looked at you. Now I did an interview with you probably a couple of years back, and I'm like,
did we do it during COVID time? Was it like 5 years ago or?
I can't remember, but it was a while back. But the story that you told me, and I'm listening to, I'm like, Dad, you live in Thailand, and you work in Thailand. I'm like, you're not letting whatever happened to you physically hold you back. So that inspired me. That I lived in Atlanta, I lived in New York, I lived in Jamaica, I'm in Panama now. So all these things I'm looking, I'm like, Chris is actually that pioneer. He's actually that trailblazer that moving forward is saying that doesn't make a difference how we are physically, mentally, we got to move forward. And can you speak on it before we go? Speak on that. I believe this is your actual mother right now. So let's bring her on. It says she says she loves. I don't know if she's talking to me, but okay, she's talking to you. She loves you, baby.
Mom. And then my other buddy Kenny, he's the cowboy fan of the group. He's the lower class cowboy fan of the group. So we'll leave that off for we're having.
Well, I had to show. He's a comment. He made it a comment, so I have to show. And I think your mother coming again, and she's talking about the bird.
Yeah, that was from the initial. Yeah, funny.
So talk about that. Talk about that particular part of your life and how you actually.
What I tell people, if I had not suffered my injury, I would be working in New York City. I'd be having a finance job. Probably doing well, making money, being happy, but there's no chance I'd be living here. You guys can't see, but I'm looking outside on the beautiful Bangkok landscape as I get the sun rising in front of me. I wouldn't be living this life. I wouldn't be married to an amazing lady from Thailand, a Thai lady. I'd be living the American life, and can't say it's better, but it's way different, and without my injury, without having to relearn to adapt to my ever-changing environment, I think that's a good way of segueing it, because I feel like now I have to live overseas. Normal is boring. I've got such a life that I have to, like I said, I have to reclaim a life worth living. And this is a life worth living. Being stuck in Florida or being stuck in New Jersey or whatever after my injury, it just wouldn't be the same. My recovery would not be the same if I was in the same place, if I wasn't moving forward and being able to explore the world and to do these great things on my own. This is a life that I deem to be worth living, something as the same with you, moving from place to place, exploring, meeting new people, doing new things. It's incredible.
eating different
Yeah, eating different
foods.
food. Yeah, exactly. Explore, uh, experimenting. Yeah, testing yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Chris, I have a very interesting question I want you to take your time to break down because people don't understand this part when I say this to them. Like and you kind of touched on it, but I want you to break it down even further. You know, a lot of times people look at me and they feel sorry for me. And they're like, oh man, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. This is great. And I have come to the realization that I'm not really my body. My body's just this vessel I'm in. My mind, my spirit is. I'm a superhero at this particular point in
We,
my life. Do you feel that same exact way? And can you break that down for people that don't understand that concept?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like I just said, that I feel bad for people who feel bad for me. How's that? That there's no need to feel bad for me. Like I've been saying this whole time. I'm living an incredible life, a life that I could never have imagined being as good as it is because of the injury I suffered, because of the recovery that I've worked for 17 years. I'm so proud of myself for where I am today. I don't need anybody to feel bad for me, to feel pity for me, because I'm living an incredible life. That all that I want people to feel when they see me, even if still with a slight limp, walking down the streets here in Bangkok, with heavy bags, whatever it is, that maybe it's a little bit of a struggle, but I want them to see how proud I am of myself. I when I was working in Hong Kong a couple years, well, in 2014, amazing, 11 years ago already. I still had a significant limp, more so than now, and the people of Hong Kong were far more like staring relentlessly. They would stare at me relentlessly, trying to like, what's wrong with him? Like trying to diagnose me, what's wrong with my leg, what's wrong with my arm, and they would look me from my feet up to my chest, up to my face, and then they would see me smiling, and magically they would smile back, and then it was okay. Their eyes were so like concerned, what's wrong with them, what's wrong with them. Then they'd see me smile, biggest smile, proudest smile, and then they would smile right back, and then it was all good. And I want people who have not suffered an injury to see that, how proud we all are to be where we are in our lives, in our recovery.
Chris, you just touched on something very deep, and I'm glad you did. Man, you're a great interview person, man. Everything I think about, you bring it to light. I love that. I feel sorry for people that haven't gone through a near-death experience because they don't understand how precious life is. Do you feel that same type of way? And what do you say to people that haven't gone through? Like, I think you did touch on, but I want you to break that down even before. What do you explain to people that don't understand that we're living the best life that we possibly can, and you're not? You should actually really smell the flowers. Take the time to smell the flowers. What do you say to those people?
I used to try to, back a bunch of years ago now, back in college and graduate school, when I would like go on explaining, proudly explaining, oh, I've this happened to me, I overcame this, I'm here now, it's life is good. And no matter what I said, and no matter how like optimistic I sounded, people would respond back like, oh, I'm so sorry that that happened to you. And as soon as they said their first words, oh, I'm so sorry, I knew right away, oh gosh, this whole conversation went right over their head. And yeah, you can't, other than just being yourself, for me, being myself and being the proud individual that I am, and being as optimistic and happy and as smiling as I am, I don't need to teach anybody how. I don't want to say that our lives are better, or our lives are, we're more fulfilled or anything. I just want people to see me and see how happy I am, and how proud of myself, and how confident I am in everything that I put myself into. That is all that I can, I guess, kind of give to other people. I don't need to share. I don't have the exact words to share because everyone's a little bit different, but I can only control myself and control how I act in front of other people and how other people can then see me being, again, proud, confident, happy, excited for life to a degree, having zeal. That's the word. Having an incredible zeal for life that is relatively unrivaled by other people that have not suffered injuries similar to ours. If that,
Or you just want people to keep moving forward.
I'm sorry.
You just want people to
Yeah,
keep moving
right. Yeah,
forward,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, and
No,
and even in my book, you know, I don't it's not a like I'm not it's not a preachy kind of a book. I don't want it to be preaching to people. At the end there is I do put like a 30-day keep moving forward challenge or guidelines or like just reflection period for people who are looking for extra little help to get through. But again, my book is how I just what I just explained. You know, it's just about me. It's just about the experience of my life, from the worst of the worst to married, married overlooking the Thailand ocean, the ocean here in Thailand, with all my friends and all my loved ones, my family, and my sister, her husband, my brother-in-law, my mom, my dad, my uncle from California, all of them coming out to witness me succeeding. You know, getting married here again, overlooking the beautiful ocean. To go from where I was, laying in a hospital bed, paralyzed, not having any memory, fragmented memory of what had happened to me, what's gonna come next.
Listen to my sound.
Be okay? Oh,
my producer's not here with me, so I'm doing everything
sorry.
on my own. But I got some comments from
Oh,
Instagram, and it doesn't
okay.
transfer over there. So let me just read that
Yeah.
to you so you can get it. Give me 1 second. I'll read the actual comment from Instagram. This is from Phoebe and Seth. He says, I usually respond with, don't feel sorry, be proud of me.
Right.
Is that something that's the same type of
Oh,
mindset
right.
that
Oh,
you
yeah,
have, right?
totally. That's exactly basically the same thing I was saying. You know, be proud of me. I would take pride from somebody else as a way more motivating factor for me to keep moving forward, to make people feel more pride, to make more people feel that same feeling instead of feeling bad for me. That feeling bad for me or me feeling bad for somebody else, that's totally a negative feedback. It doesn't help at all. You know, that's if you're feeling bad for me, it means that I'm not showing you how amazing my life is, how happy I am, how this or that. So it only pushes me back. It goes the wrong way. Yeah, someone feeling bad.
No, I really feel that. I really understand that. And I want to touch on something that you talked about throughout this conversation is about you want to not necessarily be a teachy type of book or a preaching type of book, but you wanted to inspire people to move forward, and that's what basically keep moving forward. That's what that book is all about, correct?
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that it's a book that's sharing my experiences and showing what is possible, that no matter what how low you go, that you can do incredible things and live an amazing life. As the major theme, it's keep moving forward, but it's the subtitle, it's my quest to reclaim a life that I deem to be worth living. That you know, that this is life. I say that in a number of different chapters as these crazy things, that when I get robbed in Miami, when I almost get when I almost get in a fight in New York, when I in Hong Kong, with all this stuff going on. You know, this is life. It's not always great, but it's life. You know, I'm living a life that I deem worth living. I'm not living a normal, boring life, just in rehab every day, just trying to get better. I'm living. You know, I it's and that's what I want people to take from the book, more so than a therapy book or a recovery book. It's a book about life and about the beauty of every experience and taking the best from every experience, even if it's a really crappy one. Like when I woke up one morning, groggy in my Miami apartment with my MacBook Pro missing because some girl had stolen it from the night before. And again, the experience itself is not a good one. Certainly, my family was certainly not happy with me when I called them saying, "Oh, hey, mom, dad, yeah, I need help getting a new laptop. Mine's gone missing." Let's just say that. But that's life, you know. I mean, and there's something, especially because of the injuries how far down we've been to where we are now. I mean, it's the beauty of it, seeing the beauty in everything, even those significantly negative experiences. Yeah, getting
No, I get that. I get that, Chris, because a lot of times people are like, yo, who would do that to someone that is disabled? Like, yeah, it just happens. This is life. Don't look at it that way. You know, look at it as I'm a person and it just happened to me. I get that, but I want to go back to your book because there was something interesting in there that I found to be very profound, and I thought it was just me that went through this, but it seemed like you went through it too. You know, in chapter 18, you talk about, you know, the 1,000 miles that you actually did with your dad during COVID. And what I took from that chapter is not necessarily that you did 1,000 miles,
right,
but
which
it
was
was
a pretty good accomplishment. But continue. But
it definitely was a good accomplishment, but that's
don't
not
get
what
to my
I got from it.
1,000
Like you
miles
said,
biking, but continue. Sorry.
no, you're cool, you're cool. But the way you talked about it, it made me think about, you know, with my family, you know, after my stroke, I took the time to live with my mother. I get the time to live with my father. I seen them in their natural element, who they actually are. I saw my mother preach for the first time. I heard my dad preach for the first time. And it was beautiful for me. And I know if I didn't have this situation happen to me, I probably would never have saw that. So I felt like you had that same type of epiphany with your dad, and it was very inspiring for you and also inspiring for him. You know, so that is what I'm getting from your book. Not necessarily that you're trying to say I'm better than you or that I'm trying to preach to you, but you're really showing us as people that have these near-death experience or have these traumas in our lives that yes, the things that you're doing it might seem minimal, but like you said, 1,000
Yeah,
miles.
certainly. Yeah,
That
and
is
again,
huge.
it comes back to family, the incredible family support that I've had from the beginning. That I had somewhere to go during COVID time when I was quickly kind of evacuated out of Thailand and sent back to Florida to live with my dad because we weren't sure what was going to happen back in March of 2000. What it was March of 2020, and that I ended up being stuck there for 9 months, you know, and being able to have that connection with him, to have goals that we would accomplish together, to not be stuck in the doing nothing for the time during COVID, you know. And again, it's the connection I have with all my family and my close friends, you know, my dad, of course, my mom, my grandparents at the time, that were the years ago now, you know, that I feel that I've stayed closer, certainly, to everybody, you know, calling both my mom and my dad every day, even when I'm here in Thailand, you know, talking to them on the phone, on video chat, whatever it is, you know. And my grandma, unfortunately, who passed away recently, I would be FaceTiming with her. We taught before I left for Thailand, my dad and I taught her how to use FaceTime, and she was 95 years old, 94, 95 years old at the time. And I'd be FaceTiming with my grandma every few days for the past couple of years. Was able to meet my wife through the phone and everything. You know, it just having the family support has kept me grounded and kept me when I wasn't ready to move or wasn't ready to go to the gym on my own or do something, that I've got people who are with me all the time that I need to keep pushing and keep moving forward to make everyone's life feel better, to make everybody proud.
No, that makes sense, and I don't think people really. Well, I don't know, but I know I didn't really understand the importance of
Mhm.
family until this happened to me. I really understood the importance of family and spending time with my family. Spending, like you said, you taught
Yes, yeah,
your
well, yeah,
grandmother how
and sorry, my
basic.
mom just commented that she loves talking to me every day for a long time. She loves my mom and I we talk when I'm at the gym in the morning because it's the perfect when I'm on the elliptical in the morning at the gym. My mom is always waiting for my call. So happy to talk to me every day about life, and yeah, it's great every day. Exactly.
See, Chris is being the host now. He's taking my job away. He's bringing up the comments before I actually have a chance to bring
Sorry.
them up.
Sorry. I'm seeing them on the side. That's why. Yeah.
Hey, it's your mom. I get it. It's your mom. You got to talk about your mom. I completely understand it. But that's the thing, Chris. Is like I don't know the relationship that you had. You was a teenager. I don't know if you was a very boisterous and loud
Yeah.
teenager before your accident, but now it's like every day. I don't miss a day without calling my mom or my dad. I love those moments. And when you was talking about, you taught your grandmother how to
Yeah.
FaceTime and you actually talk to her all the time. You miss those conversations. Those things you cannot replace. People cannot replace the time that you have that you're wasting because you're not dealing with your family because you're all into yourself. So I really I like that you actually did that, and I'm
Yeah.
very proud of you.
And again, yeah, my dad too. I talk to all the time as well. He's been incredibly supportive and continues to be. He was actually just out here in Thailand 2 weeks ago. He's been out here many times traveling to visit me and to see and hang out with my wife Taki, and everything of the sort. So no, yeah, again, family all together has been phenomenal. Yeah.
So is
Brian's
Brian
my
your
dad.
dad? Because he said, Jeff, I'm watching
Brian's
too.
my dad.
That's your dad. So he's
Yep.
watching. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't trying to be offensive. I hope you didn't feel like I offended
All
you,
good.
sir.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So at this time, we're going to switch gears. I want to do what's called my hot seat questions. At this time, I do all my hot seat questions. I ask my guests these questions. There's 4 questions. And when you're finished with the questions, say, AVM superhero, I'm ready for my next question. And then after that, I want you to close out the show. I want you to tell us how we can find you, with any information that you have whatsoever that you want to inspire other people. That'll be your time to
Perfect.
do
Sounds
that.
good.
So are
I'm
you ready
ready to
for
get
your
on. I'm
hot
ready to
seat
get on the hot
questions?
seat. I'm ready. And I believe the
Okay,
Eagles must have just scored, so life is good. We're happy.
yeah, because everybody's just saying so much. Oh, your mom saying
Yeah.
score.
Go
Oh my
birds. Go
god.
birds. All right. All right. All right. Funny.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Here we go. Here comes the
All
hot
right.
seat question, sir. Question number
Mhm.
1. Why did you want to write this book after 17 years?
So I've been writing this book in my head for probably since 2014 when I was in Hong Kong, or even before when I was in Beijing that first time. It's been in my head forever, and I'm thrilled that I waited until now because again, the culmination with me getting married last in November of last year, 10 months ago now, um, marked kind of the perfect time to really sit down and have the time to write it and to put it all together. That I'm married here in Thailand. That's I've reclaimed my life. I'm living finally a life that I deem worth living, and that's perfect. And I'm ready for your next question, AVM superhero.
Yes, sir. Okay, here's question number 2. Question number 2. How did you learn to keep it moving?
Again, as I brought up from the beginning, laying in the hospital bed with my right leg, just trying to move it any bit that I could, paralyzed as I was. From there to physical therapy when I was in the gym, what I've learned is that every bit that I've worked on to improve, I see the improvement. Anything that I focus on, I see the improvement over time, and that physically is what has helped me to keep me moving forward physically, but then also with life and the adventures that I've been on, that every negative experience that I've suffered through, which are a significant amount of them. As my dad read when he was going through my book a while ago, just going through, he goes, "Chris, you were like a punching bag, going through all this bad stuff that's happening, but it's the ability to be confident in yourself and to continue. And you know, this happened back then, but now I can do it better. I can do it better now." And that has now led me all the way here again to Thailand, and life is good because we've kept it moving forward. Ready for the next question?
All right. I was waiting for you to say that to me, sir, because I was not
All
going to
right,
interrupt you. So, question number 3. What inspired you to not give up and stay in Florida?
Again, this is a simple answer that I guess from a while ago, you know, from the beginning, where I saw that my therapy and my improvements were really being so helpful to the I guess the morale of my family and to my friends. And from the beginning, I saw that my recovery was more than just me, and it was bigger than me, and it was bigger than just getting better. And it wanted me to live life, make the most of my life, and reclaim that life that I deemed to be worth living. And in New Jersey and in Florida, it wasn't enough for me. I needed to go international. I needed to see the world and to experience it, and to show people that I could do it, that I can do it, that I can do everything, despite the challenges that I suffered for years and years, and despite the challenges that I still suffer through now. I can do it, and it makes me proud, and it makes me can't wait to accomplish the next goal or to go on the next adventure. Ready?
Yeah, I like that. Ready. All right. Here's your final question. Remember, after the hot seat questions, I'm going to come off and let you close the show. So, everybody, thank you so much. And I'll let Chris go from here. So, question number 4. Are you ready, Chris?
Yes.
What did the threat of death teach you?
The threat of death, or for me, the perspective that I have when I woke up in the hospital with no memory of anything, it to where I am today, again, overlooking this beautiful view with a beautiful wife waiting for me in the other room to start our Friday morning here. It taught me how to live. The threat of death taught me how to live, you know, that again, if I had not suffered through what I suffered on, if I had not overcome the things that I have, that I wouldn't be living the incredible life that I'm living. And that is what the threat of death really taught me. It taught me how to live. I might be a little bit cliche, but it really did, and it continues to. Ready to close it out. I can't remember exactly. Again, thank you guys all for joining the show. Again, here's my book, and I believe that Greg will show a ticker for the, all right, here, perfect, for the website that people can go on to check it out. It's called Keep Moving Forward, a memoir of recovery, resilience, and reclaiming a life worth living. I'm Chris Dittrich. Thank you guys all so much for watching. And don't forget, go Birds, the reigning Super Bowl champions of the world. And to reach out to me just on a personal level for any questions, or just to talk and to let me know what you thought of this show, please add me on Instagram, CD_worldwide. Again, that is CD_worldwide. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your Thursday or Friday here in Asia. Thank you. Kapun kap.